Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Monday. Happy Monday. Here from me, Chantelle at Aquarius, rising Africa, where the sun is shining and the weather is sweet and we are working. And my little town is overrun with city ants. What am I going to do for the next 3 weeks? Anyway, welcome everybody. Nice to see you all. Mama, Jojo, whoever. I don't even see who else is in the chat here. Rosebud. Nice to see you guys. And yeah, a great show we got installed tonight with Beverli. And we're again doing another royal update. Also looking again at Andrew and Fergie and etc., but also at William and Kate today. So looking forward to what Beverli has in store for us there. However, just to let you know, we will not be on tomorrow night on spiritual forensics with Beverli and myself. She's traveling. So we will be back next week, Monday and Tuesday. So we're just missing tomorrow night. So just bear that in mind. Okay, but let's just go over one or two announcements for the week. And just to see what else is on the schedule. Well, of course, it's Beverli tonight. Solution tomorrow, the mini series part 9 of the Ankara field. So check that out. Just explaining what really the new grid's about, and kind of weaving it into a playful way where we all get to have fun while we ascend and transcend and expand all these amazing things. We are not on tomorrow night on Solutions with Chanti, so with spiritual forensics, so just bear that in mind. Then on Wednesday, Jesse and I will not be on, but I did an interview with Guy Anderson, and we'll be playing that at 4 o'clock South African time, which is Eastern time. I think that's 9 o'clock for you guys on Eastern Standard Time, if memory serves me. But wow, what an amazing guest, everybody. He is phenomenal. Expert on Tartaria, the Cabbage Patch Kids, cloning, all these amazing things. So we had a really cool conversation about Tartaria and also touching on a lot of other things. So that is one you probably do not want to miss. Then Thursday, we're doing a double re-air with Jesse, just from our earlier shows again. And both those shows will be about Christmas, the Christmas energy and what's going on around Christmas time. Then on Friday at again 4 p.m. Is Dr. Jorgens, and we are actually looking at the latest Spooky 2. Look at here, I don't know if you can see it here on the side. There we go. AHA Halo device. I mean, it is a phenomenal little thing. It is the size of a computer mouse. But I'm actually currently running, you can see that on radiation. So they've got different little pre-programmed settings as well. I'm currently running a radiation and a phenomenal little machine. So check out that interview. And he's also an ex-medical doctor who's turned to natural medicine. And I love speaking to people like him. What an amazing guy. And he's going to also be a regular on our show from next year, speaking about health and wellness and these amazing topics that we all need to be looking at now. That's for sure. That's the way we literally save ourselves. And then, of course, on Saturday, 4 o'clock again, and about Kova. That's part 2 of her interview with me, or my interview with her, on being pretty much trafficked and abused and used in the professional tennis arena when she was a teen. She's a Czechoslovakian, I do believe German, and played a lot as a teenager on the very competitive arena. And it's just tragic to see what actually happens there. So catch part 2 of Anna Bartkova's interview with me on Saturday. And then Sunday we have the Sunday loop again. So the replay of older shows. And before I bring Beverli on, I'm just going to talk again about our Crackamas Christmas giveaway. Still got a day or two to check it out. So for those of you who haven't seen this yet, still a beautiful opportunity to enter. So there's 3 hampers. And the first hamper is for Australians. Okay, hamper 1 is Australian. So there's a book, and included in the book, in the hamper, is book by Jesse, Faithful in All His House. Honeycomb Tales by Chanti. Yes, the Ankara Field. Personal aura reading by Beverli. $50 website gift voucher from Jessie for all her anything that's available on her website. And then for Australians, Rachel Vaughan has made a beautiful crystal necklace. So hamper 2 is all of the above as well, exactly the same. But instead of getting the necklace, you have a 1,000, and this is for South Africa. Hamper 2 is South Africa or Namibia, around Africa, right? You get a 1,500 Rand gift voucher by marushka.com, which is literally handcrafted linen clothing. Her clothing is beautiful. She is one of my really good friends and is an absolute master when it comes to creating genuine Evo fashion. She is really great. So whoever gets the South African hamper, trust me, you're in for a treat with her clothing if you don't know her brand yet. And then, of course, hamper 3 is international. So anyone, anywhere else in the world. And the difference there is you get Caleb Jade's Book of Miracles. So, and also, obviously, the reason why we have that in South Africa is because we have to post and mail stuff as in Australia. And by now we know snail mail takes 1 million years and costs $1 million, right? Which you don't really want. Anyway, so if you don't know yet how to enter, subscribe to both Aquarius Rising Africa and Solutions, both our channels, and then comment Crackamas 2025, as well as the country where you are live in on the giveaway, so yeah, whatever country you're from. And then bonus entries for sharing and tagging us and our sponsors on your social media. That's optional. So, yay, if you haven't done that yet, please check it out and enjoy this really generous hamper. And, of course, if there's anything there that you don't want or is not for you, you are welcome then to share it with someone else. And, of course, yay! The Honeycomb Tales Adventures on the Ankara Field is now available in South Africa and Namibia. So if you still want to catch your hard copy, please contact me. And then also available on Amazon. And of course, it is now available in French as well. So check it out, everybody. Very excited to get that out for all of you. So, yay. And I see there's lots of comments so far which I haven't caught up with yet. But without any further ado, ta-da.
Oh,
Madame.
hello. Look what I've got. Da, 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 da. I got it. And this picture is gorgeous. Look at this.
Oh,
I loved it. I got it. It's beautiful. P.C. Weaver. And I've been going through the book and the pictures are awesome. I mean, they are really fantastic. So if you're battling to get a Christmas present for someone, I recommend getting this, the Honeycomb Tales, because it's awesome. I didn't manage to get a hardcover one. I managed to get the soft cover, but that's good because it means that it can be popped in my case and I can carry on with it. So congratulations, Chanti.
Yeah.
I've got it. It's lovely. Well done.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Well, it was so nice as well. Yeah, I received all the hard copies for South Africa as well. And it's something really nice to actually see it when it's in hard copy. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. Well done.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm super excited. Really. And it's also available in hardcover. You can get it in hardcover, which makes it more of and that's only been recently, by the way, that it's been available in hardcover, because hardcover makes it also, yeah, more like a coffee table book, and it really is beautiful.
Yes,
I have to say, Mornay, his illustrations are great,
they're
and
super.
yeah, we definitely sat around the table a few times and had to pull some hen's teeth, but we did, and we got it. So
Oh,
very
it's
chuffed with
lovely.
that.
I think the portrait picture that he's drawn, where he's put it in about Chanti, the author, I thought it was awesome. I thought, because everybody else just puts like a photograph in, and you've got this beautiful hand drawn picture. It's gorgeous. Well done. I was very excited to receive it. Very excited.
Oh, yay. Well, I'm happy now. I have yours and you have mine. So
Yeah,
that's
there we
wonderful.
go. It's perfect. Yeah, well done. We're just waiting now eagerly for the next one. No pressure.
Yes, and that's happening soon. Gosh, I'm so
Oh, good.
behind. I was hoping to catch up everything still before the end of the year. I'm trying, but yeah, we'll get there. We definitely will. So
Yeah,
thank
good.
you, Bev. I'm so glad you received it. And
Yeah, I got it.
I want to just say welcome to everybody. Yeah, and to everybody in the chat. So happy to have you all here this evening. And of course,
Mm.
we're looking at the whole Kate Middleton and
Yes.
Prince William update. Yes, where are we at? What's happening there?
There's so much. There's so much that's hit the fan with these four. So it's obviously Andrew and Fergie, the ex-prince, as he's now referred to here in the UK, the ex-prince. But then we've also got Prince William and Kate as well, which the energies between them has changed. Oh my goodness. The two of them, when you see the energies, they're like bursting off each other and bouncing off each other, and there's a lot of
Mm,
cat fight and scrapping happening, which is really awful to see, because they're very miserable with each other. They have this sort of very arsey sort of looks like, one of those, and you can see that there's a lot that has changed. They have been through that really brutal time, but it seems like they're really trying very hard to sort of get back to each other, to find a way to get back to each other, because I think they both know that they're majorly under the spotlight, under the cosh, and they've been able to sort of waddle through and sort of limp through the last time, and they have been through like almost a full double cycle, 25 years. When I was looking at them and looking at their energy, you can see that they've been dragging this bubble of energy behind them of 25 years of really difficult times. And I mean, they now what, 14 years married, and they do love each other, and they do have a particularly fondness for each other. But I think that with the issues that's been happening with Andrew, what's been happening with his children, and what's been happening with the king, it has been a very, very difficult time. And with the energies as well, particularly with Prince William, with his father's cancer diagnosis in 2024 last year, then also it's one of those that has caused a bit of a problem for them, because he wasn't expecting to be able to step up and do additional duties. He wasn't expecting that. He was thinking, well, I've got some time. My dad is still around. He's going to be king. I've got some time to slowly but surely, get into the way of things and understand where things need to be. So, and he himself and Kate, they've weathered obviously the two passing away of Prince Philip in 2021, and then of course we had the Queen Elizabeth in 2022, and that always causes that rift that comes out, because the energy that is pulled out of the siblings, because both parents, so Philip and Queen Elizabeth, that energy would have been pulled out of all of the siblings. So that would have been Charles, Andrew, and all the rest. But that energy would be tapering off. And because it's as far back as 2021, this year particularly, and going into next year, it will become very obvious, because it takes a full 7-year cycle. Our time here on Earth in 3D takes 7-year cycle to have that full heart awakening, where you actually enable yourself to send the energy back up into the dimensions of the parent body. So that would be the two of them. So Prince Philip 2021, I mean, it's not 7 years yet. It'll be 7 years in 2028. And of course, Queen Elizabeth was 2022. So that will be 2029 before they're totally free of all of that energy. And this does happen to all of us as humans, because the parent line being the mother, you've got the portal, which is the womb. You've got the portal where individuals are coming into the portal, connecting, and that is then the child that is then entering the earth. But because there is the seed that is created within the portal, that is then the connection of that energy that comes into the portal of the womb. So that's where the two energies, the mother and the father energies, are connected. And that then lives within the child right up until the age of 13. In 13, the child pulls the energy away and starts walking on their own path of destiny. And that means that the parents don't have as much say over what's happening within the soul plan or whatever contract that child has agreed to before incarnating into the body. So when that is all gone, when the two parents are gone, completely gone, that severing of ties will take 7 years. So they've been going through all of that. And then they've got all of the pressures with Prince Harry. William hasn't actually dealt with that particularly well. And obviously through his marriage, he's got all of that. God bless him. And it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And people are looking at the Prince William energy in a different way. And there's a lot of fallout. There's fallout over Prince Harry. And there's also fallout for ex-Prince Andrew. So there's a lot of pressure around him. And it's not really been a normal year. Not really. Not since last year. Because all of these problems are giving him the hardest period of his life. And I think that if he was honest with himself, he would know that this has been the most difficult full 1 year that he's ever gone through in his entire life. And now that he's been married to the person that, you know, he's been in love with for, what must be about 25 years. They've only been married for about 14 years. But he does worry sometimes that the relationship would break down because of the level of trauma and emotional trauma, mental instability that's happening. So what they're doing is they're doing what any good couple would do. They're elevating their activity by trying to push out and send out pink energy, lots of love, lots of kindness, trying to actively think, well, if I say this to her or if I say this to him, you know, the levels are just going to be very difficult and it's going to drive the couple apart. So they're actively both, when you see their energies, they are trying desperately to work with each other and desperately to get back onto track, because these kinks and these difficult times has caused a lot of trouble within their own marriage. And they've had to think about, what do we want to do? How do we want to do it? What do we need to say? What's happening with the children? And there's been a lot of turmoil behind closed doors. And obviously, I mean, as public, we don't know necessarily what goes on behind closed doors. But when we see them out in public, we can see how things have changed. But I think the big saving grace was when Kate had the diagnosis of her being into absolute remission. And that was, I think it was January of this year. She was given that, the all clear. She's gone into remission from the big C. And basically, you know, it is a test. She knows it's a test. It was challenging for her, but she has overcome that. So, and he's proud of his wife. He's proud of her too. But it did put a huge strain on their relationship. But they are coming right. They are getting past it. They are moving forward. And I think that when you see them together, they are different. You know, they are very different. She is a wife. She's a mother. She's strong. She's the big C survivor. So you have all of that that's happening. And she is very loved. And I think he's very blessed in as much as he's got the wife energy, the Kate energy, has a lot of the pinks and the flowing energies. She looks like a very bright rose quartz. If you know that beautiful pink of a rose quartz, she's got that in her aura. So you know she is in that cycle now. So when she moves up to the age of 45, so she was 43, I think her birthday's in January, if I remember. And I think that with that, she's able to become the mother of the nation in a way. So I think William's energy going out to her sees her as a Lady Diana or Princess Diana type of energy. That because Princess Diana obviously was the heart and soul of the nation, but he's seeing his wife as the mother of the nation. So it's a totally different energy, but actually almost like falling and stepping in the same footsteps as Princess Diana. But she is, I mean, if you look at how she is with the children, she's a very different type of mother. She's got a lot of strength as well. And she treats each of the children as a separate entity. So obviously George is how he is, Charlotte is how, and Louis, they're all very different. And that is how she treats them, as separate beings, separate entities, separate beings of light, as children that are innocent. And I think she protects them a lot more than we realize. So that relationship it's coming along, and they're getting back on track. And I think everybody was very shocked about how difficult things were for them. And when the big C happened with Kate, I think that literally floored them. When you saw his aura and the way that he was in public, you could see it was like, almost like had that hangdog look, which was really quite sad. But at least they have got through that. So they're in the process now, just in the process of walking through very difficult times. They will survive it. They definitely will survive it. So there's no energies around them that says a divorce. There's nothing like that. They will work on it. They will get it to come right. They will. But that is just all the difficulties that are around them. It's just pushing the hell out of them at the moment and their relationship.
I'm always suspicious about these royals. I really am. I think there's so much information. Well, I mean, when we listen to a lot of the survivors speak, and we hear of the involvement of the royal family in the atrocities, this particular royal family, of abuse and beyond. I've no doubt that the princes, both of them, have been through quite severe grooming and ritualing and training as well. So I wonder how I guess it's like I'm trying to find a word like to find a coherent sentence. When we see them in their roles, right? To me, I can't take that seriously because it's a big fat cover, the way I see it, I mean, you look at all their ribbons and sachets and what have you, and garlands, etc. We can see that they are belonging to whatever secret society or lineage or what have you, which is all part of the dark cult, right? So I'd also like to know, I guess, knowing that about them, where does William stand also in the future of the monarchy? Like, is he going to break that cycle? Because I can't see that he is innocent, and neither Harry. I mean, they all participate in some way or the other. When you look at those guys, they're always in Africa somewhere doing something with something, either animals or African people, Kenya or Botswana or South Africa. They love it, Kenya especially. And that's a strong British stronghold, right? They've even got their entire airport in Kenya where no African person works. It's only white people who work there. So I'm just kind of giving some context here. So like, I cannot get away from the fact that despite their daily dramas, obviously that they have, and stuff that he has to work through, I want to know also, I guess, what is he going to do about being king? Is he actually going to change the whole structure? Does he have that power? Okay, sorry, I disappeared there. Does he have that power, you know, to change the system? Or is he just going to be another puppet, but maybe a better one?
Yeah, I think that
I'm not sure what's your...
his energy is that, you know, when I've been looking at him, watching him over the last couple of weeks, he's very different. This energy of the William now is very different to the one of the beginning of the year. And he has changed a lot within himself. And there's a lot that he doesn't agree with. But there's stuff that he's going to have to just, you know, bite his lip and continue with it. But I think there's another undercurrent here that a lot of individuals are missing. And I only picked up on this in May this year. And I thought, hang on a minute, what on earth is this now? What is this? There is this huge energy ball, and it sends out these sparks. And it is from, you will not believe this, it is from Prince George, because he was 12 in May and he becomes the big 13 in May 2026. And what was very interesting is, as I said, with the womb and the parents' energies and connecting, he is fighting and sending off sparks. And he could have that ability to become rather feisty and uncontrollable. The one that we should be watching, and the one that we should be trying to calm down and get to be a good king in the future, is actually Prince George, because William is the one in the middle. Yeah, William's the one in the middle. You've got obviously the current king, old Charles is the current king, and he waited all his life to have that position. So he's got it, and then he will depart. But then we've got William, that's the interim one, the one that's being taught, that's being shown, that's being pulled into public life, because a lot of people don't realize this, but as a 12-year-old, Prince George has had 3 major society and political appearances this year. And that already has said to me, this child who's 12 is being trained to be the next king. So that is very interesting. When I looked at him, I thought, good Lord, we are sitting on a time bomb here. This child has got this energy all over the place. And the next year, up until May next year, when he actually turns the big 13, that's a huge milestone, because from that time forward, the energy from the Prince George pulls away from Kate and William, pulls away, goes into itself, and then goes outward. Because at the age of 13, he now starts walking his soul plan and what is meant for him on his own contracts that Prince George has signed at a spiritual level. So he's going to be mingling with all sorts of people. And I'm pretty sure right up from now until May next year, the Prince George person is going to be signing guest books and going to organizations and, you know, going to places where not only his late grandmother, but also the great grandparents had been. And there's going to be a lot of people looking at him and wanting to see, you know, where is he going? How is he being? But I would like to ask everybody, look at the eyes of this child. And you will then, I'm hoping that you will then see some of what I can see in him. And if he's not taught correctly, he could eventually bring all sorts of changes and chaos to the UK as a whole, because he thinks about things totally differently. And he is being prepared to become the next king after William. But my question is going to be, he has an extraordinary explosive energy. And my worry would be is that if he's given that level of power, A, will he know how to deal with it? And secondly, Will he be the type of king that will do something for the greater good of the people across the United Kingdom? Or will he be the one that pulls the monarchy and the royals out and has them as a standalone, and just as the royals, as many other countries have got? He has a totally different path of destiny in front of him. William is just the gatekeeper in the middle between Charles and George. Bit of a strange one, isn't it?
Not really. I mean, I hear you, but I think that makes a lot of sense to me. As you know, especially what you were saying now about William being the gatekeeper between Charles and George. Because you can see little George. I mean, from when he was, I mean, he stands strong. He stands steely, boy. That little hairstyle of his, he knows he's here to do important stuff.
Yeah.
The little cutie patootie, that baby, Louis, and his antics. I mean, he's obviously grown up quite a bit now, but when he was little and the way he would dance and carry on at these public performances was so cute. I really, really, really liked him, the little one. But it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. I still, for me, is the way that he's going to lead his people into a brighter future or a brighter tomorrow, a brighter UK, they literally have to get out of the satanic cult.
They do.
And that, I guess, is my question. What are the chances? Because you can see already, obviously, just with their posture, with their grooming, they've already been groomed. They know the drill. They know what they have to do. And along with that grooming, and again, I mean, yes, it's hearsay, but we understand how the hierarchy kids in the family, royal families especially, are abused, had terrible things done to them, right? We don't have to go into detail about that because that, again, is assuming. But where it's really important for them to kill the empathy gene in a child, so to speak. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out from what you can tell. Do you see them getting out of it? Because all I can think about is that disgusting Prince Philip and his trafficking rings here and doing all these disgusting things. And then Charles, who's obviously taken over, and obviously William, who would have then been taken over from him. And God forbid George should take over from him.
Oh, God, could you imagine? Jeez. Yeah, it is. It's a difficult quandary. And I think that out of all of them, the one that has the savvy and the wherewithal and the energy that can actually break everything, walk away from everything and make a difference, it is actually Prince George. He is the one that he's got. When I saw that aura, when he's now nearly 13, I mean, it's only a few months away, he is definitely becoming his own. He's going to step into his power. And he is probably the only one out of the whole lot that could turn around and say, you know what, I'm not going to be part of this. I don't like this. I like my animals. I won't be doing that with animals. I won't be, doing all these things. I'm not doing it. I'm drawing the line there. He is the one out of all of the royals that has a way to use his empathy in a positive way and also put his foot down. So whereas all the rest of them, were sheepies and sheep, they just follow and do what they're meant to do, and they got broken at a very young age because of who they were in the line of succession. But also what I found very interesting is I've picked up that William and Charles had agreed that they would allow even princesses to lead the country. So some of the laws in our country have very quietly been changed behind the scenes. So it allows the line of succession to allow both male and female, and that actually it allows to have any different types of individuals, as long as it's in the bloodline, to sit on the throne. So they have changed things a little bit, but they're still part and parcel of the same establishment.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone was just saying as well that they feel Charlotte would be a better choice.
Oh,
And
right.
as you're saying that, you're saying about the princesses.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Charlotte, shall we? Because she's quite a quiet little dark horse, and what she must be 11, 12 by
Mm,
now as well.
11, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you got it in one by saying she's a quiet dark horse. Dark horse, that's the
Hmm,
operative one. Very on that spectrum where she can be rather duplicitous if she wants to. Very the energy is the type of a manipulator, and also able to make sure that she's able to put people in a particular place so that she can play them like a really good chess game. She's excellent at that, and maybe that's what people are seeing, that yeah, maybe she would be better because she's got the strength, and she has the ability to manipulate energies and manipulate people, so much so that they don't even know it. She's got that energy, which is, I'll tell you to go to hell in such a way that you'll look forward to the trip. That's her
right.
ability. So she has got a totally different way about her, and she can get what she wants, and she knows how to get what she wants, and she doesn't think twice about it. So I would worry if it was her that was put on the throne, because she has got those abilities where she can manipulate individuals, but she can also almost like glimmer individuals, glimmer them in such a way that they think that that's what she wants, and they will do her bidding. So that's even more dangerous. George doesn't have that. George is just, straight up, bull in the china shop. Off he's going to go, tramp, 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 tramp. That's it. Totally different to her. I would be more worried if the Charlotte energy is the one that ends up being placed into the throne. I would be far more worried, because you're not going to see it coming. Dark horse. She's able to do everything here behind the scenes, and then when it hits you, you'll think, "Jeepers, where did that come from?" That's how clever she is. Very manipulative. She can get what she wants. She knows how to get what she wants, and she'll use it.
Interesting, because I definitely have thought that a few times.
Oh, good.
Just sometimes, when you see her in pictures, just the way her expression is, the way her eyes are looking, there's definitely something about that for sure.
And yeah, and I
And
think
she
she does
seems
this.
to be like, hmm,
Yeah, I think she does. You're right. She does have that look about her, and I think she does have someone who's guiding her from spirit as well. It'd be very interesting to have a look and see who is guiding her in spirit, because she has her different days, so to speak.
and what about the little one, Louis?
The little one, Louis, it was a very unusual one. I looked at him only in the beginning of the year because he's so little, but I've actually found that there was this piece around his top energy body here that was moving, and then it became fractal, and then it moved in, and it became fractured. And that for me normally means that there's either some sort of syndrome, or there's some sort of issue. Either it's ADHD, or maybe there's Asperger's, or maybe there is something different in the energy of the child. So it could be any of those. And he's got that fractured piece that comes out and then goes back, and then comes out and goes back. I don't know where it is or what it is, but I think that he has got something that will probably come out later on when he's much older, and they'll have to try to work out how to help him best.
Right. Okay.
What did you feel on him?
Now, I must say I haven't really checked his energy, but give me a minute and I'm going to sit with it, and I'll come back to it. Quite a few people have commented on whether Kate, who got the big C a year ago, roundabout, um, actually, if it's her that's come back, or
Oh,
if
you could.
we're dealing with the clone or a doppelganger.
Oh, I see. Gosh, Well, that's quite interesting. I didn't see a change. I didn't see a change in her, and I didn't see them, being the type of individual where you have a completely new entity that appears in the husk or the body of that particular person. And I can say that because I think that energy of hers hasn't changed as much as I would expect it to change if she was a clone. Because clones are very good, but they don't have the essence of the real person, the real owner of the original husk. They don't have the essence, and they don't have the wherewithal to be able to be that way. Not at all. So I think that whatever happened to her with the big C, it was still her that came back, and it's still the same person that came back. But I think that because she spent a lot of time outside of her body and in a different dimensional area and talking and looking at her soul contracts and what she needs to do, that illness changed her tremendously. And that's why I can see why some people would think that there is a clone in her place. Because clones, I've had a lot and seen a lot of clones. They are absolutely totally different. And most of the times when a clone comes back within a year or two, they basically move away from their families, they change, they do something completely different, and they do nothing similar to what the original body was going to do. Whereas she's still staying in her family, she's still staying with her husband, she's still really good to her children, she's still taking on any of the duties that she had to do as a royal, she's still doing all those things. If she starts changing dramatically, because that's what happens with the clone gets given a program or a project or a particular mission to say, right, that's what you've got to do. You're stepping into that body. That's what you need to do by that time, that timeline. You need to be there at that place, and you need to have accomplished X, Y, and Z. And if that is the case, then she will have to extract herself. And I don't see her extracting herself anytime soon.
I do, and I agree with the last comment here, for real. Catherine has definitely lost her spontaneity.
Yeah.
I think that for me is the thing I see the most. I see someone who has aged quite dramatically, and I don't mean wrinkles in her face or whatever. She, to me, is still beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. Um, but I see, yeah, a deep sadness in her. There's something that's not okay, and she carries that. It's
Yeah,
like a responsibility she has to carry. And going back to little Louis, what I pick up with him, it's like his spiritual journey on some level is to break the mold of the royal family. That for me came through so clear. It's like a chicken in an egg, and this little chicken is like, it's not like the normal little thing that pecks itself out. It's like, hey, um, he definitely, I would say, is slightly autistic, not not off the scales though, but he goes within and he loses himself in himself, and you can't reach him. So he goes into the place where he'll go within and he'll be so doing what he's doing that you can't reach him. So and only when he chooses to come out of that, he gives her a lot of stress, because I feel like she's taken a lot of, as we say, shtuk, right? For him as a royal, his behavior. Royal is expected to behave in a certain way.
Yeah, true.
And he completely breaks that mold. And I think what we see on the screens now and again is just an iota of what's going on, because I do feel he's ADD as well, or ADHD, where he can run and be completely extreme. So he goes to the extremes of his nature, either very chaotic or very, very intro. But I feel like she takes that on a lot, because that becomes her problem. It's not a child who's has ADD. Let's work with that. It's like, get your child to behave in public, or that sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I feel like. A lot of the issues come from that. But he's breaking royal molds, that's for sure. That little one's going to come out. He's going to come out with some crackers for us, really. I would watch him. I would watch him.
He's
I
a good
think if
one.
anyone's going to, yes, if anyone's going to break the royal secrets, he probably will.
Yeah, he's got that in him.
Tourette,
it's quite good.
In a moment of like Tourette's or something.
Yeah, you'll say something. Uh-oh. And, you know, I think with his mom, with the Kate energy, I think that when she was so sick, and the fact that she was spending a lot of time, you know, being healed and working with her spiritual body, I think that part of that inner sadness that we see with her now is that she was able to come to terms with and see and view a lot of the Akashic records when she was so sick and she was, you know, out of her body. She was able to view, what are my soul contracts? What am I doing? How am I faring with my soul contracts? And how can I go forward? And I think the sadness with her is that level of being trapped, that she won't be able to work on a lot that she wanted to work on because of who she married and who she has become now. Because she won't be able to do a lot. They would stop her.
And it makes sense what you're saying, because I think she saw the gilded cage she's in. Part of viewing her Akashic records was seeing the gilded cage she's in.
Yeah,
and that no matter what, that's the life you've chosen. You can't get out. I think actually that happened even before she got the big C. Because if you're looking at the big C, that's really I mean, okay, it's got to look at the part of the body and everything as well. But that's an emotional issue that is not addressed.
Exactly.
And that it repeats itself, yes. So we've got to see then what she has not been addressing. Because she's known stuff, she's felt stuff that's telling you. Just the fact that she got it in her body is telling you something. As a healer, we see these things. And so your body is speaking to me. Your body speaks to me through showing me what your illness is. That's what it's telling me. And I think in her situation, there was a lot going on before, a lot of lies, a lot of betrayal. I think there's a lot of that going under. I think there's a lot she didn't know. I think she came into this thing with Rose. Let me not do this because in case I get accused of like being Illuminati or something. I was going to say like rose-colored glasses, right? You know, like rose-colored specs. And even though I think a lot of, we know that these women are groomed, but I don't think they know what they're getting in for. I don't think they understand the magnitude, like Princess Diana as well, of what she was letting herself in for. And I think when you're in there, then you see it. It's like then those jaws close in on you. Ugh. That just gave me the chills.
It does, yeah, it does. And also, you know, she did have the opportunity to cut and run. You know, I think there was a time when she was still dating and she was different, and her and William sort of had a bit of a break and were doing their own thing. I mean, because they've known each other for 25 years. I think there was a time that she wanted to cut and run, but then there was so much that she knows and so much that she'd seen and heard and be party to. It's almost like, you know, those sticky pads, like an insect, when those insect sticks to the sticky pad, no matter what you do, the more you wiggle yourself around and try and get off a sticky pad, that sticky pad is there. You walked on the sticky pad, that's it. You have to stay on the sticky pad. So, and I think that was part of the issue that happened with Kate. And that's very similar, you're right, very similar to Princess Diana. They're very similar roles, very similar energies, and pretty much both are as stuck as each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely think William's a bit of a player. I mean, he definitely fancies himself as a bit of a playboy, for sure.
Oh, I think
he likes to look at himself in the mirror.
I agree
with that. He's actually, I always used to think he was like really good looking as when he was younger. Like, well, not really good looking, but like he was the better looking of the two. But to me, and suddenly he looks exactly like that Prince Philip. I'm like, what happened to you, dude? And you know what? Honestly, it would not surprise me as I'm sitting here thinking about the era now. And like, okay, tell me your thoughts on this. Tell me your thoughts on what I've just had a download on. It's like after Philip died 2 years ago, whenever it was, to me, that's when William started looking different in his face.
Yep.
So, what are the chances of there being some type of a ritual they do that he would then embody William's, like a walk in, right? A walk in. So he then pretty much takes over William's body, like a walk in. I know that sounds seriously far fetched.
It's not. No, it's not far fetched. I mean, walk-ins do happen. Yeah, they do. So I think it is possible, but we need to look at a walk-in needs a number of years of cycles to be able to get to the point where the person that owns the body, the husk, is then prepared to leave the husk. So you can't walk into someone's body without the absolute permission, both physical and at a soul level. So I do agree with you that he did start looking very much like Prince Philip. So I think it's possible that there is a very strong connection between the two of them. And I think he is pushing energy and pushing aspects into the person to get that change that needs to be done. But what is worrying is that the look is also changing, which is very strange.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not into body shaming or look shaming, okay? But I'm really just looking at something that to me is super interesting. He's actually become a lot less attractive to me physically as a physical man, right? And I'm like, you, dude, what happened to you? Come on. This is like, And that's why I feel with him. And it would make sense. And if you think about the way these royals and things splice DNA and stuff, it would make a lot of sense to me that he could well have been a spliced baby already with Prince Philip's DNA in, right? And there again, maybe not. And then maybe on some level now, when he comes into power, that energy has a stronger current, if you will, and then draws to it more of Prince Philip's soul. I don't know. Is that possible?
That is possible, particularly if the attachment is actually the old Prince Philip. If that's what's got onto the back of his neck and is holding onto the back of his neck, that would be him. So and those people takes a few years though, but it happens.
Think about when Kate got sick. No. There's too many things that are like suddenly lining up for me here. To think that something like that did potentially happen. That when Philip died, he because Philip was already running so many things anyway from behind the scenes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He was already controlling so many nefarious things behind the scenes. So it would make sense to me that after his departure, that soul of his is way too greedy and just does not want to go and say bye-bye and do-bye yet. I'm still going to be active here. And of course, it would have been a contract that they would have had spiritually long before already.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that you're saying that Charles is like the gatekeeper.
He's just the gatekeeper
between William and George, because that for me seems like where the opposing forces lie.
Yeah.
Prince Philip coming, almost coming, who's saying, "Screw this! I'm changing the system." It's like the most powerful royal, because behind the scenes, he definitely was probably the most powerful royal, I
Yeah,
would imagine.
the most scary. Ugh, very scary.
Yeah. And he was a Greek prince. He was a Greek prince. So when he was young, super good looking as well, apparently, Prince Philip.
So, yeah, supposedly. But he was scary even a close up. I mean, it was like, what? I know. And what fascinated me was the eyebrows. I mean, the eyebrows looked like a caterpillar on speed. Seriously. They were long, and that's why I never thought anything of it, because it wasn't, normally you expect a royal to be perfectly groomed and looking good, and not in a slicker, one of these waterproof slickers, and quite, not totally unshaven, but you could see that the time of day that I met him, the beard was growing, but the eyebrows, oh my God, they looked like caterpillars that had been let loose across his face. But the eyes were the biggest issue.
What's with the eyes? Because what is it with the kino and the eyebrows? And now, obviously, Prince Philip with the eyebrows. They've obviously got a thing about
the eyebrows. Yeah, they just do nothing to the eyebrows, and you got these long chutters, these long white ones, and they're curling, and really, guys, the eyebrows need a room of their own. Come on now. And he's like looking, and he's talking to me, and I'm thinking, what? But the eyes, oh my God, the eyes were like, they were their icicles. It would be almost like they could shoot ice spears out of those eyes. And look, and he was obviously very interested in my horse at the time, and he was asking me questions about her and whatever. I didn't know he was. There's me. I'm not worried. I'm just saying we're talking horses, and when you start talking horses, it doesn't matter whether he's a royal or whether he's from Timbuktu. It doesn't matter to me. Talking horses, that's all I want to know. And he had pony nuts in his pocket, which is horse food. And she could smell them, so she kept going up to him and going. And I said to him, I said, "Have you got pony nuts in your pocket?" Just like that, not Your Majesty, not nothing. I talk about, oh my God, threw my name away in 2 easy lessons. And he says, "Yes, I've got pony nuts." So I said, "Well, you had better," and I was pointing like this, "Would you had better give her those pony nuts, because otherwise she'll come and take them out of your pocket herself." And he just smirked, and he took the pony nuts out, and he said, "There you go, you can have them." I said, "That's great. She's going to be happy now." And that's why after he walked away and went back up to Windsor Castle, and I carried on, I had this swarm of security officers all over me, like, poo in a field. And he said, they were saying, what were you saying to Prince Philip? What were you saying? I said, "Who? I've never seen Prince Philip. There's no Prince Philip here." He said, "Did you not know the person that you've just been talking to is Prince Philip?" I said, "No, that was a guy who was interested in my horse." Well, I tell you, they just, "What is your name? Where do you come from? Let's see your badge," because we all had badges on to be in the castle area. Had badges on. "Give me your badge number." Oh my goodness, I had like the 50 degrees of questioning. And I just said, are you sure you've got the right person?" Because I said, that's not Prince Philip, surely not. Because you'd never think. He just looked like some scruffy bloke down the pub. Really.
Wow. Well, that's actually quite a nice story about him, I have to say. That's a cute story of him.
It's a cute story. Not good for me, though. I threw my name away, that's for sure. Because everybody afterwards was saying, "Oh, you had him. He was very interested in your horse. What was he saying?" And I said, "Well, you're just talking horses and where she comes from. And she's an American paint horse with one blue eye, one brown eye. And I brought her into the country from America, and she was, let on the mountains for 2 years and all that sort of thing." That's what he wanted to know. He wanted to know about the horse. So it was just like, it was one of those weird situations that happen in life that you think, and now I never would have thought it. It was the eyebrows that got it, I swear. Caterpillar City.
Yeah, it's always those eyebrows, isn't it?
Yeah, they're terrible. They all seem to have them, especially at that, at that age and that level of, where they've been involved with all the stuff that they're involved with. It seems like all that energy goes to the eyebrows when they grow these.
But what was Mama Leona saying, about the thing with eyebrows? Isn't that the expression of stuck emotions, basically? Probably true.
Yeah,
that lot has lots of stuck emotions. That lot has lots of stuck emotions. I can't imagine that they have flowing harmony.
No, they don't.
Flowing through their veins, that's for
Not
sure.
at all.
Wow. Wow. How interesting. How absolutely interesting. Okay, so then I have one last question for you as well, what you think. And again, we've spoken again about certain of the royals and celebrities we know do not have their own babies. Okay. Now, look,
Yes.
Kate Middleton, are those her own babies? Because it doesn't look like those are Meghan's babies either.
I did see the tendrils, from the womb. You get those tendrils that come out. It's a tendril that comes out and attaches like the silver cord. When you're astral traveling, you've got that funny long cord that goes with you wherever you need to be. And they do have a cord, and that cord is attached to both William and to Kate. So I do believe that they are progeny. They are what we would call blood of my blood. So they would be individuals that are blood tied. So I think that that's quite clear. But how they entered into the world or how they arrived, I can't really say. But I can say they are of her own bloodline and of William's bloodline. They definitely are progeny or children of that pairing, which was a pairing that was agreed by the Pope at the time.
Okay, so is it possible that she could have had a surrogate?
She could have. That's definitely possible, because the surrogates would then release the tissue, because that's the contract that you sign, believe it or not, is that if you are going to surrogate for somebody, it actually is tissue that you're giving away. And that's what they call the baby, is actually tissue. And you'll sign away that the tissue will then belong to, obviously, to Kate and to William. So if they had a surrogate, that tissue that they were carrying was tissue of Kate and William, and that's where the DNA would be. And you will then sign to say you've got no claim on that tissue. That DNA and that tissue belongs to these two people, the William and the Kate person. So they would have had to sign that away.
So what's the deal with Kate coming out of the hospital wearing a dress exactly like Rosemary's Baby?
Oh, good Lord, I didn't see that one.
Oh, goodness, yeah, no. When she came out of the hospital with George. I think it was George. Guys in the chat, if I'm wrong, correct me. The oldest, the George. Wearing a dress exactly like Mia Farrow wore, same collar as well. And also, from our shows with Jessie, that lace, the Chantilly lace, right,
wow,
has a certain, all of it has to do with levels in the system and stuff like that. But she was basically wearing the same dress as that, basically saying that she's, well, in Mia Farrow's case, she was giving birth to the Antichrist.
Oh, gosh.
So there's obviously been a lot of speculation around that was a sign or a symbol that George, who we've just been discussing as a power figure, is actually one of those who would then be marked to be. I don't think there's just one Antichrist or one person. I think there's different levels of them or different of them. But basically, pretty much having given birth to the Antichrist. Now, when you look at him, he's very self-assured, right?
Oh,
he's very, I mean, he's a strong kid. He knows why he's here, kind of thing. I don't know. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think that it's possible, because his energy is the one that I was saying earlier that I'm sort of worried about, and I'm worried about where he's going to go with this, because next year when he takes on his position within the royal establishment, if you like, as his own person. So when he turns at the age that he needs to be to move forward, I would be worried enough to have to watch him to see what is he going to do. I mean, he is that type of energy that is a force to be reckoned with. He's a bull in a china shop. And I think if he doesn't, he's quite snidey with things. And if he doesn't get what he wants, you think Charles is difficult and you think William is difficult or even Harry was difficult, this is all culminating into one person, into the George entity. So that energy is very, very strong. I find that it can go either way. At the moment, because he's only little, he has a propensity to shift between 70% to 50-50 to 60% and then 50-50 on the dark side. And that's his own personal sort of soul level fight that he's going through. But then next year, once he becomes of age, he will have that time of the dark night of the soul where he will have to look within himself, who he's associating with, and where he sees himself making a difference. And if he even wants to make that difference, he might not want to. He might want to utilize all of the connections that Prince Philip put in. He might want to use that rather. We don't know which side the George entity person is going to go yet. He slips up and down. I mean, he's only 12. So he slips up and down all the time. And next year will be the time when we start seeing him out in public more. And then we can see what side of the track he's decided, whether he's going to the light or whether he's trying to stay in the gray shades, or whether he's going to go totally to the dark. We don't know yet. He's neither right now.
Someone was saying it was actually Louis that was born and her bringing him out. So it wasn't George. It was little Louis. Yeah, that's even more interesting.
That is more interesting. I also want to say about Andrew, because I've been following, obviously, because I've done a lot of readings of his aura, his energy body, looking at how he's connected to his ex-wife, old Fergie. And I can just say about poor Andrew, and I'm going to say poor Andrew because he doesn't know that the SH1T is going to hit the fan in such a big way. There's going to be 7 different women that are going to come forward and confirm issues around being a type of sexual predator and an offender. So over the next few months until about April next year, we're going to see a lot of issues coming forward. We're also going to see proof and evidence that the ex-Prince Andrew has used Sandringham House for all sorts of, clandestine encounters. And that includes with taking both Jeffrey Epstein as well as Ghislaine Maxwell to Sandringham House. So there's a lot that's coming out, and there's a lot of other photos that are going to be very obviously taken in the royal residences. And you can't get away from that. Is if you take photographs inside the palace, or if you take photographs inside an area, it's very obvious that that is the palace. And you can't doctor that out and you can't change it. And all of those photographs are now going to be released. And that is going to cause all sorts of trouble, because they're going to be sending all these photographs to the Department of Justice. And there will be lots of information that come out, because all you will do then is look at the photographs and then tie up all the statues, the lamps, the fireplaces, and everything that is there is going to become very, very obvious that this is in the royal palaces. Then how do you wiggle out of that one? So this is on its way. He has got a really big, big hump of a mountain to climb. And it's also going to find that where people were saying that the JE person and Andrew didn't have that tremendous friendship, this is going to prove categorically that they did have a good friendship. Not only did they share secrets, but they shared women, they shared other individuals, and they shared that need to be top dog. And, it's going to become very obvious that he is one of the ones, not only person involved in lots of scandals, but his issues have touched the lives of so many people. That is going to come out as well. And I don't think it's going to be easy then for individuals to be able to go forward and say, well, it's all right, we'll still promote him and we'll still be friends with him. You're going to find over the next full 1 year, the ex-Prince Andrew friends, people that he knew, they're just going to be dropping like flies, because he won't be able to turn around and say, as he's done before, he said that the Virginia Giuffre picture and photo was a fake. And now we know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that it wasn't faked, that it was a true photograph. And there's loads of similar photographs that are coming, loads of them. So it's not
for me, it's one thing these guys were trafficking adult women, and I'm not for one second saying that's okay, right? Or they were even had a soft spot for a 17 or an 18-year-old, right? That's the fantasy of many a male. But not that you have to act on that. My question for this will go a lot deeper, because I think it's the same thing with Diddy. They brought out the kids and all of the, that stuff. So it kind of broke, it kind of cracked that mold that these celebrities are beyond reproach. But they don't talk about the cults involved, the SRA, the torture, Oopsie, where's Beverly gone? I think she might have gone. Or whatever else that these kids or people, when they are kids, are being subjected to. So I always wonder about that, what comes out of these stories with now the Epstein files, because those of us who've been watching the shows with Jesse and we've watched the Decode on Epstein Island, if you haven't watched that yet, please do, because you're seeing something a lot more than just the girls and which rooms they were in. We're seeing the way the building is built, all the archways, the way all of the stuff that the kids were MK Ultra'd with, the underground laboratories. That's why I say this is so much more than Jeffrey Epstein. And you know what? Prince Andrew is one step further, because in my opinion, we're dealing with a British monarchy when it comes to controlling things like the Montauk Project, all these CIA, MI6, whatever they are. We're all going to find the links there. They're all linked in. And that's the thing. The torture of the kids and what they've done to kids and animals is really what humanity, what the planet, the world needs to know. Not just Andrew liking younger chicks and being disgusting and snorting cocaine at parties. Most people have done that, right? Most people on this planet have had a hot night with someone and done something that they shouldn't have done, whatever that might be. Andrew has done plenty of that and so much more. And it's so much more that makes me question how much of that is going to be coming out.
Wow. And I think that is going to be it. But I think the biggest issue that always gets me with any type of royal, whether it's the British royals or Denmark royals, or whether it's those that are in Saudi or any other country, they all believe that it's their birthright, and that no matter who this person is, male or female, that it's their right to be able to utilize whoever they want, whenever they want, because it's their birthright. And that's something that needs to stop.
Actually, fuck them. Really, in plain terms, fuck them. Because who are you to think you can utilize me in the way that you think you want to utilize me? Go screw yourself. Do to yourself and those who like it around you. The bottom line is that this whole thing, and I mean, it also just takes us to this whole thing, well, let's keep it with the royals and this upper echelon religious narrative control, about how much these people think they can do to us. We're looking even in the Talmud, right? Yeah. We're reading the Talmud. We're seeing exactly what the Jewish people think they can do to us, and I don't talk about the Jewish person, guys, we've all been lied to. I'm talking about those that are in upper echelon positions and deciding that we are not worthy of our lives. It's okay to treat us with they are better than us. We are cattle to them. Screw that. Those days are over. Seriously. But I want to just have a look here at this comment here. Just looking image of Rosemary's Baby and all three births, Kate. Well, yes, that's what I was thinking. She was wearing similar dresses to the movie. What was in the movie? I actually thought it was George that had the exact Rosemary's Baby one, but it turns out to be Louis. But all of them, and with George, she was wearing a blue dress with the same collar, and it's the lace in the collar that tells you something.
I need to go and have a look. Definitely, I need to look.
But
it would be interesting if it was her way of trying to leave a clue. I mean, if she is in a position where when she goes out into the astral, moves away from 3D into the other dimensions and sees that what she's involved with, and that maybe this could be her way of leaving an evidence or a little breadcrumb trail for everyone to follow. It is possible that could be it. But if that is the case, then she could be putting herself in danger, because if the powers that be pick up what she's trying to do, then that could end up being quite a difficult position for her to be in.
Poor girl, she's in a difficult position already. So
she is.
Yeah. Wow, very, very interesting times indeed. So I think let's just keep our eyes on what's happening here, because it's not about being a royal fan or a royalist. I'm definitely none of those. But when we're looking at the positions they hold in society, when we see, those of us who've been watching this channel for a while, and those like channels like this will know that the royal families are far from nice.
Exactly.
And the positions they hold. So when we start seeing the dominoes fall at the top, I like it, because that means something is starting to shake. Even though they are giving us their first four guys, there's never just one four guy. That one four guy is gonna topple a few other bricks for sure. So let's keep our eyes peeled, as my mother would always say. Keep your eyes peeled, and let's have that 360-degree compound vision to see what's happening all around us. Keep your head on a swivel and keep your feet on the ground. Yeah,
absolutely.
Bev, I'm not sure if there's anything you still want to say, share, or close off.
I think I want to say about to watch what is happening and look to see how are people, what is their outward body saying, because their outward body itself can't always mask what they know. So you will find that they will, if something is true and they're accessing something that's really happened to them, you'll see their eyes will go up to the left. But when they start lying, the eyes will go everywhere, and you will find that they will give those little tell signs during their discussions, and you'll be able to see, okay, maybe what you've been saying right now is not really the truth. So there's a lot more that we can find out by maybe keep the sound down and watch the body, because the body will send you tell signs of this is what's going on. And the one that's the worst for it is actually Fergie. She gives everything away by her body movements and how she moves herself. You can see straight away that she's lying with a bare face. Absolutely.
Totally. I mean, I think it must be a redhead thing, don't you think? I mean, every redhead I know, the minute they try and pull a fast one on you, it's written all over their face.
Yeah, then they can't lie too well. That's it. Yeah, redheads can't lie too well. It's part of their DNA. They just start bubbling, and then that's it. They get their little tells and get these tells on their face and the way they are, or they get these bright red cheeks and bright red ears. because the blood
How
just
funny.
rushes to their faces. It's too funny. Yeah. That's why when I was watching
How-
Harry, I turned off the sound, and I was watching him, and you can see he gets his blood red cheeks, and his little ears start getting all red, and you can just see that he can't get it out, and he starts thinking, oh, but it's already too late. Red nose, red cheeks, red ears. Then that's it. There's your tell straight away.
Totally. Blush.
Yes. But your body knows that you're telling 40 lies, fibs, lies.
Yep, true story. Well, guys, I'm just going to pop up your banner quickly. So for those of you who don't have Beverli's website yet, there is the address. I see someone earlier in the chat was asking for an appointment with Beverli or something. There's Beverli's contact details, guys. Everything is in the description area of the video. So please make contact with her. Does amazing readings, aura readings, etc., etc. We will not be on with spiritual forensics tomorrow on solutions with Chanti, but we will catch you again with Beverli next week, Monday and Tuesday, and then we're back to business as usual again.
Yes.
And yeah, exactly.
I've also put up I've put up what is it called? The Buy Me a Coffee link, which I set up yesterday. So if anybody wants to, these are just for very short readings, short, sharp, sweet ones where you've got one particular question that is really burning and you need to know straight away. You can use the Buy Me a Coffee, which is the Beverli Rhodes official. Buy Me a Coffee, Beverli Rhodes official, and then just send that to me, and then you can choose one of the different packages, which are they're very small. They're not the bigger fees for the long appointments, which are usually over an hour long. So these are for the small ones, for the quick fixes, so to speak.
Fantastic. Yay. Well, you see, we always like to give you guys choices, right? So there you have plenty of choices. Okay, everybody. I will see you. I'm not sure if I'm doing another live this week. I don't think I'm doing another live this week.
So
but if I don't, then I want to say,
lovely festive season.
Have an absolutely amazing Christmas and New Year. Well, I'll see you before New Year.
Yeah, you will.
Enjoy your holidays. I know I've got my young son with me, the little king, as I call him. And I'm on full mommy duty.
Mommy duty suits
running
you
around.
Because you're glowing. Mommy duty suits you. You're glowing.
Cooking.
No, well,
you shunted around.
Yeah, you have to do it. So there you go. I'm probably going to end up being on cooking duty as well this Christmas, which is fine. I don't mind it. It's going to be. I've had an order come in. They want my bread and butter chocolate pudding with custard, so I'm going to be making it. It's bread and butter, and I put instead of jam between the layers of the bread and the butter, I put chocolate, and it's just
wow.
So very rich. Oh, it's very rich. And then I have cream with it.
I'm gonna try that. I love bread and butter pudding. I love it. I often make it.
So take out instead of jam, put chocolate.
Sometimes what I put is strawberry jam instead of the jam. So I'll use this I'm gonna try the chocolate and maybe even cinnamon. That sounds like it could be really nice with cinnamon. Yeah.
I mix up a chocolate spread. I won't use the name because that's advertising. Well, I mix up the chocolate spread, and then I make sure that I mix it with a little bit of cream because it's very thick. Otherwise, you can't get it on the bread. And you put it on both sides of the bread. And then what I do is, if I'm really feeling like out of this world, I'll get brioche and I'll cut up the brioche and I'll do that to the brioche and do the egg and everything, the custard, bake it in the oven, and then it's just this gorgeous, gooey, chocolatey, yummy scrumminess. And then I have just one spoon because I've never known anyone be able to eat more than one spoon because it's so rich. And then fagalo, custard and cream. Job done.
That sounds delicious. And how about some vanilla ice cream on top of that?
If you're allowed to eat vanilla ice cream, absolutely. It's beautiful. It's stunning. I can't do vanilla ice cream, but yeah, That's it. You try it. You will never go back to just the plain bread and butter pudding again. I promise you.
No, that sounds delicious. I have to say, I'm definitely going to try the chocolate before I put strawberry jam in.
Yeah.
And I love raisins, so sometimes I would only just put raisins in. I love raisins. That's the thing. So
yeah, the chocolate one is very decadent. It's very sweet, but everybody loves it. No matter where I've made it, everybody said, "Oh my goodness, what is that?" I said, "It's bread and butter pudding, but without the jam. It's got the chocolate spread in there."
Nice. Well, you'll go and make yourself a delicious pudding, bread and butter pudding for Christmas.
Enjoy.
Or especially those of you who are in the colder climates, because that's going to be so yummy there.
It's a winter warmer.
Definitely going to. Yeah, for sure. I think I'll make it for Christmas Eve. Yeah. Okay, everybody. God bless you all.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Have a fantastic holiday. We will see you back very soon. And enjoy yourselves. Stay cool. Stay calm. Stay connected. And life is, hey, coherence. I came up with a saying today. I couldn't remember. I was saying it on one of my shows. But anyway, I'll bring it up next time again. Okay, guys, take good care. God bless you all. I'll see you on the flip side.
Bye, everyone.